Hello everybody, welcome to the new episode of Smitio Talk. Today's episode is a bit unusual as it's in English. I invited gentlemen from Belgium office of Atlas Copco who are closely working with their colleagues from the IT hub in Brno on a new e-commerce and PIM project. James Houseman as e-business manager, Kristof Ceulemans and Thomas Sinnaeve as product owners. Hello, gentlemen, and thank you for joining me today.
Hello, thank you.
James, can I please ask you to briefly introduce Atlas Copco? What do you do and what is your role within the company?
Yeah, sure. So Atlas Copco, big in the world of B2B, perhaps not so famous to everybody on the streets, let's say. I often get asked who is Atlas Copco, but we are a really big global organization working in industry, providing industrial solutions across many sectors. We're actually organized into 4 separate business areas. They being vacuum technique, industrial technique, power technique. And then actually the largest is the business area that we all belong to, and that's compressor technique, and they're headquartered here in Belgium, although the company is corporate headquarters is Sweden. We're a Swedish driven company. So yeah, around for over 140 years, well established with sales organizations or customer centers, as we call them, in most major countries of the world, and then product companies, factories and production spread out globally as well.
And what is your role within Atlas Copco?
Yeah, so for me, I'm our e-business manager, actually working at the business area level. So our business areas are then split into divisions to bring focus on either technologies or market segments. Our program as e-business manager is bringing solutions for 5 of those divisions, so that we have, let's say, one digital go-to-market strategy across the divisions in terms of solutions, but then it can be tailor-made to the divisional strategy or requirements.
Great, thank you so much. Today, the main purpose of the talk is to learn more about a project called One Portal. Kristof and Thomas, as I understand, you both are responsible for part of it. So maybe Kristof, can you tell us first in a little bit general what's the project about, and then focus on the part you are responsible for?
Yeah, so the project that we're doing is a global compressor technique project where we want to introduce both e-commerce and a centralized product information management system. So it's 2 big pillars of one even bigger project, and where I'm responsible for the e-commerce part, because I'm the product owner for all e-commerce projects within compressor technique, not just this one, but also others. And I do that together with Thomas.
If you should just, like, for a person who has no idea, you know, about the project itself, can you just, like, simply tell me, like, what is the final product going to be? It's a platform where I can what?
The goal of the project is to create an e-commerce solution where any of our customers, both B2B or B2C, be it recurring or the one-time or new customers, can purchase our products. And that's going from large equipment that is used in the food processing industry and which costs is a big investment, to even a small spare part like a small screw or a can of oil. So it's really, really diverse, and even the end goal is that even you can buy services online. So we really want to have a really, really diverse offering online.
Great, and you are responsible for the e-commerce part of it. And then Thomas, what is your responsibility within the project?
So my responsibility is I'm a product owner, same as Kristof, but then for the PIM, Product Information Management. So yeah, my function is to steer a bit the roadmap for PIM. So what is a PIM system? Maybe that's also not bad to explain because it's not well known in the world. So what we try to achieve with the product information management system is that we group all our product information in one single platform. So a lot of companies, and Atlas Copco is one of them, we have a lot of different applications, a lot of different sources, and now we want to combine everything in one, let's call it one central hub, that we really have everything product related at one place. So going from technical information of a product to training videos, to presentations for our internal sales engineers, but also towards the outside, as Kristof explained, that we are capable of giving that information to our web shops or other channels, that we have as much information as possible about our products.
Great, thank you so much. We will go a little bit later into deeper details about the teams, but now, James, can you say a little bit more about the timeline? When did the project start, and what's the roadmap? What do you expect in terms of time?
Yeah, I'd say e-business as a whole is not totally new to our organization. We've been working with different platforms and solutions, some divisional, some local, some global, for a number of years already. For example, we've been doing e-procurement or online transactions with our distributors for around 15 years already. But since, I'd say, 2021, we started to, especially out of the back of the global pandemic, a lot of focus on digitalization and accelerating that in some places. We were already in a good position overall as Atlas Copco going into that, but there was definitely opportunity to bring this vision together. So the project was started a little over a year ago now. So yeah, 18 months, middle of 2021, we officially started, and then went through a initial requirement and gathering stage, selecting partners, and also technologies that we would use to execute, and then bringing our organization together to really have this one vision, and that's the program that we rather call it a program than a project, because in terms of start dates, we've started, but we have milestones and we have roadmaps and achievements we want to make, but we're really starting something for the long term here, a complete way to market sales channel for our organization, bringing IT and business together. So in terms of end dates, for sure we have targets and milestones that we want to meet along the way, but we're planning and hiring for the future and building a team and structure within our organization that can support continuous improvement and development along this track.
All right, thank you. Kristof, when would you talk about your team and the e-commerce part? Could you describe a little bit like what's the structure of your team, and how do you cooperate globally within Atlas Copco? Like who all is involved in the project? What are the roles and who are the team members on your side?
I think we can differentiate a little bit between the business side and the IT side. So on the IT side, we have a big project team with about, I think, 10 developers, 3 business analysts. We have a solution architect, a DevOps architect, and then myself as product owner. And also we have people who are doing the project management side, the admin side of things. It's a team that is geographically spread. So we have people actually in Poland, people in Czech Republic. We have people in other places as well. So that's one side, is the IT side. Also people doing rollouts, people doing documentation, etc., of which there's one person also sitting in Brno, or even 2 now. From the business side, we have we're working on setting up key users all around the world, so they can bring together customer feedback and requirements. And they can also support locally, because as I think James already said, it's a global implementation, will be used all around the world. So it's important to have local structure and support. And every country also has their own administrator who does the e-commerce configuration and is also first line support for the customers.
If I focus on the IT part of the project, as obviously most of our audience are IT related, you mentioned around 10 people from like solution architect, developers, DevOps, and so on. Where is the biggest team of these people? Are they sitting in Brno or where they are?
The biggest part is in Belgium, but we have noticed also during the Corona pandemic, since we have a global team anyway, that everything pretty much works in a hybrid way. It's not that we have like a small group in Belgium, we're always sitting together. No, everything happens online, in online meetings and teams, to make sure that everyone feels involved. And we have a business analyst sitting in the UK as well. She also needs to be involved constantly. So yeah, I don't think we have like a local group. It's really a hybrid way of working.
What, in terms of technologies, what is the platform built on?
Yeah, we're bringing together a best of breed solution. So we have a couple of software as a service platforms, which are pretty much best in class for their purpose. We have a search engine, which is top of class. We have an e-commerce platform, which handles the cart creation, promotions, etc. And we're connecting everything through Azure technology. So we have our front end is hosted in Azure. It's an Azure app. We're using Azure API management. I think even logic apps at certain places. So we're really making use of most of the Azure tech stack. And for anyone who is interested in the front end, we're doing React as front end technology. So we're trying to really make use of the most modern architecture, bundle everything in microservices in Azure, and connect everything to APIs.
And did you start building it from scratch? Because James mentioned that the e-commerce was always like part of the Atlas Copco projects. So did you get like an older product which you are changing, or did you start on a green field?
Yeah. We started completely fresh, so we have a legacy platform which was end of life, so we could not further develop it. So basically, we made an MVP, which is to replace that legacy platform with completely new technology. So we had a completely brand new architecture designed to make sure that we can continue to develop it in the future. We really have a roadmap for years in the future. I want to build on what we start now, laying the foundations now.
Great. Thomas, similar question to you, like about your team structure and technologies used.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, the answer will be very similar to the one of Kristof as well. We have a similar setup and a similar goal. Some functions which are also important for product information management are the data quality engineers in my case. So we already have someone in Brno for that function, and we are hiring a second one. So that's also an important role. And next to that, indeed, architect, we have functional guys, technical guys, developers. So it's a bit of the same as what Kristof just mentioned. Also, we use similar resource, for example, what he mentioned on the training, someone creating training material and does a rollout. That same person is doing actually the rollouts for PIM as well. So it's a similar approach there. Then if you look at technologies, the PIM application as such, we try to keep that as much as possible out of the box. So it's a software that we actually bought from another company, which is based on Azure. It's a SaaS solution. We do have, of course, integrations around that. We do have some development done on that as well. If you look at the technologies there, it's mainly .NET based, HTML as well. And then again, the Azure stack. For example, we make use of Azure Data Factory to work with integrations. Also, indeed, logic apps, something we use. So again, there, a bit as a similar approach as Kristof's.
Thank you. James, basically you were saying that the goal of the project or program is to create one portal for the customers. But at the same time, internally, these are kind of like two separate teams who are working on that. So why did you choose to separate it, and how does it work to come back together as one piece?
Yeah, good question. And that's a challenge for us as well, but something we learn as we go, but I think are tackling in a good way now. So I see my role, okay, I'm not a IT or technology background, mechanical engineer by study, but I really come from the business. I spent the last 14 years in sales and marketing roles, business management roles. So there, my job is to really bring the vision from business, the requirements, together with the knowledge and expertise in our technical and IT department. So work very closely with Kristof and Thomas here. We bring the whole teams together in a joint PTM, a project team meeting, where we have representation from the business on each division, as well as key stakeholders from logistics, for example. And then we call in as needed other domain experts, data management, data quality, security, to support us on those tracks. But already, yeah, every week, let's say, we're sitting around the table together to really bring the business and IT together so we can move forward and execute. And yeah, we have multiple project tracks within the program. So the main two being eCommerce and PIM. And we keep them closely aligned so that, yeah, we have a lot of dependencies on each other to be able to deliver. So yeah, it's a teamwork. It's a real team commitment to bring it all together.
Yeah, okay. And Kristof, how do you make sure that all the, you said your team is like spread all over the world, and I understand that in Belgium you probably can sit around the table as well, as it might be easier, even though I know the hybrid mode and stuff. But how do you ensure the communication between all the people involved? Because I think it's also important that even the single developer who is building something understand the whole complex picture. So what are the procedures? How do you make sure the communication is smooth, and how is it done?
Yeah, we have very regular meetings. So we have a daily stand-up in the mornings at 9:45, where everyone dials in and explains if they have any blockers, what they're working on, etc. And we also, of course, have a real-time view in Jira we use to allocate work and to follow up where the work is. Every 2 weeks, we have a sprint review together with all developers and the business as well to showcase what has been built, get feedback directly from the business. We also have a sprint planning session on the same day where we put forward the goals for the next 2 weeks to make it clear that everyone understands what we're working on and why we're working on it. So we do have these very regular meetings where we try to inform everyone and really keep a close contact.
Great. Thomas, in terms of like you mentioned, it's 18 months since the project started, and Kristof mentioned something about like rollout is planned globally and you will be gathering feedback. What is the current stage of the project? Like, are you close to rolling out, or what is ahead of you still?
Yeah, indeed, we actually are. So the 6th of December, we went live with the pilot in Sweden with a few dealers. So with our MVP, it's the first thing, of course, that we want to achieve with that is get some feedback from there and see if everything works fine, both the commerce solution from the team of Kristof as the PIM solution next to it. And our goal is to start rolling out beginning of next year. So start from January, and by the end of the year, the goal is that we have every customer center onboarded on the new solution. So we're talking about more than 60 customer centers there around the world. So it's quite a big job to do, but that's our ambition to onboard them all next year.
Great. James, you mentioned that this program is a part of complex strategy for future, and you definitely plan to move it to the next level once you are ready with that. Could you maybe share more about what are the next steps? Like once this project is implemented and up and running, what will happen next, or what's the vision?
Yeah. Okay, I have to be careful what details I go into, of course, but yeah, we have an exciting roadmap ahead of us. I think our main focus for this last year, I said 18 months, let's say 6 months of that was based on requirement gathering, technology selection. Then we've spent time developing and building and then starting to roll out. And that gets a real foundational technology, all the integrations in the back end and an initial front end solution out there in our business. For us, it's about gathering value for our customers as soon as possible. So everyone in the team has a direct impact on that. And no matter where they are in the business, there is a line to the customer experience and customer satisfaction. And for us, it's about ease of doing business. So using technology to add value in that respect. So we've started with our, let's say, indirect channel, distributors representing our brands around the world, an ordering platform for them to make doing business easier. Sorry. Next, we'll move into what is more of our end phase, or phase one. So we're investigating now how we will use the technology we've built to create end customer experiences. So how can digitalization, digital technologies support self-service online for customers, but also how can it help our own salespeople? Because some of the products we sell can be quite complex. We have a very experienced sales organization around the world, and we're looking for how digital strategies can help support us there. Unlike a lot of companies using technology to our advantage to really add value. We're focused on that. Wherever we have a development track or a roadmap, there's a business case behind it. What is it going to bring for our customers and for our business?
Great. Kristof, at this stage of the project, who is missing for you in order to complete? Are you extending the team? Do you need any new team members in order to succeed?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was already touched upon. We're starting the rollouts right now, basically, with our first pilot go live. We need to roll out to the entire world, and we need to support the application at the same time, and also build new functionality also at the same time. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, a lot of really ambitious and interesting times. So we need our team to be able to support both a global platform, roll out to other countries, and also build new things. So we definitely need some support on that, and that's why we're looking for extra help. I think it's mainly about the support and about the rollout functions. I think there we really need some help.
Who is the ideal fit for you? Like, who do you need?
Yeah, regardless of the position, what we are really looking for is for people who are energetic, ambitious, and really want to go for a goal, because that's really how our team is at the moment as well. So that would be a really good fit from a personality point of view. Someone who really wants to pick up something and try to get it done. When we're talking about the rollout, it's about a good communicator who is good at explaining things and about listening to our users and what their problems may be. It also applies for the support engineer, of course, because they will be our face, basically. Our application will not succeed if the support organization is not perceived as being very helpful. So we need someone there who can listen to the users and their possible issues, and doesn't necessarily need to solve it themselves. We have a good second and third line support organization already in place, but we need someone to be our face and to route an incident to the right person and to keep our users informed, because they're really appreciate if they are kept in the loop on any progress on their questions or issues.
Great. Thomas, what about your team? Are you complete, or are you also extending?
Yeah, indeed. We are also extending, and mainly the same as Kristof just mentioned. Also, we need, of course, that support organization rollout similar. Next to that, we are also looking for technical people. For example, some integration developers, because we need a lot of integration from product information management to any of our sources, and that applies for commerce as well. So that's more a technical role. We are also looking for a technical lead for PIM, like let's call it an expert that knows the ins and outs of the application, that knows the architecture as well, that can help the support organization, that can do some development even, or some configuration in the PIM system. So yeah, quite some roles we are still looking for. So there is still some place in the team to be filled up.
Okay, great. James, you mentioned at the beginning when you introduced Atlas Copco, you mentioned that it's a Swedish-driven company. What does it mean? What's the meaning behind it for you? How does it apply for your company culture?
Yeah, I'd say we have a very strong company culture. I have to correct myself from earlier. I think I said over 140 years. Actually, next year we'll celebrate 150 years of Atlas Copco, so it'll be a big celebration in the organization then. Celebrating the past, but also what's to come in the future. And I'd say, yeah, we're very forward-thinking approach, quite open as well. The values of the company are commitment, interaction, and innovation, and I think all three of them combined and together really portray what our culture is and the people within it. The people is what make it happen, but by following those core values, I think that's where we get our solutions from. For sure, we have commitment, and we look for people to take ownership and be self-starter. Interaction throughout the whole organization. We have very much an open door policy with ideas. People are encouraged to be quite entrepreneurial with how things can be improved, no matter where they are in the business. So ideas come from the bottom up as well as the top down, let's say. And innovation is really in our DNA. I mean, I say we're the home of industrial ideas, but it's not only about the products, it's about the way we do business. It's the processes we have within our organization. And there, I think that's what drives our success and keeps us as a market leader in so many segments that we are today.
Kristof, that was from kind of like business talk, you know. How do you view in the day-to-day life, like those principles and values and the culture? How do they apply in your day-to-day business?
I think in this project we apply them definitely at heart. I mean, we go for, I think, one of the most innovative possible architectures within the e-commerce domain, like we said, with that best of breed architecture and connecting them with the latest technologies. And I think also what drives, and I think it's a bit the company culture as well, is doing the things right, not just do quick, and maybe do it a bit dirty. No, we really want to do things in the right way, and we get support from the business and from management as well to do things in the right way, which I personally really appreciate. And like James said, that open door is also definitely there. I mean, we're talking here with VPIT on a regular basis, just as well with the developer who's sitting somewhere in Bulgaria. I mean, it's really not really a hierarchical organization. Everyone talks to everyone, and you can, if you have a problem or if you have an idea, you can get it landed anywhere. So yeah, that trust is definitely there in this organization.
Great. You actually mentioned that the politics or the culture is to do things right. Could you maybe share what was the biggest failure when you actually tried something and you find that, oh no, that's not the right way, and you had to start from scratch?
That's a difficult question. Yeah, I think in the way that we do things at the moment, we don't have big failures because we work in a very iterative approach. So we fail quickly rather than big. But we do have things where we made a certain assumption. For example, there was an integration that we thought was real time. It turned out it was not. It turned out that it only ran every 15 minutes, and it had a big impact on our users because they could not see something for 15 minutes, even if it failed. So there we have a bit of a task ahead of us to fix it. But we identify these things really quickly because we have these 2-week feedback loops to make sure we can experiment and maybe sometimes make an assumption, but we validate it very, very quickly to make sure that we do things eventually in the right way.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thomas, what were the biggest challenges on your part of the project which you have to overcome?
The biggest challenges, also a good question. I think it's also something that James mentioned. We are working with a lot of different divisions in this project, 5 different divisions. And sometimes it's not always as easy to get, let's say, an alignment on that, because every division has their own set of products. If I look at product information management, so we need to find the best fit for all of them, because some are responsible for spare parts, others are responsible for medical equipment, others are responsible for big equipment, which is entirely different, which has other, for example, performance data. So that's sometimes a challenge to find an aligned way of working in there. And that's what, in the end, we all want, of course, as much alignment as possible in the product structures, in the product approach. But it's a challenge for sure. Yeah.
And who is kind of like the decision maker if there is a dispute, if you don't agree or you have different visions? Where do you take it? Who will decide who is right?
Well, we are, let's call it, more on an equal level, all the divisions. So it's also not really the culture of Atlas Copco, I would say, to really say, okay, and now we will do it in that way. So we try to align as much as possible on that. Of course, we need to go forward with the project as well. So sometimes indeed we say, come on guys, let's do it now in this way, and later on we can still adjust. And usually everybody agrees because we have one common goal, of course. But it's not really the culture of Atlas Copco that one big decision maker says like, okay, everyone stop, we will do it like that. It's more like we try to work with each other and find alignments in there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for sharing all the information with me. I wish you good luck with the rollout. Hopefully it will be successful and soon in all the countries. Then thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kaka.